know a lot of you have been told you need to outwork your competition this off season. You need to be the hardest worker. What if I told you that the best performing goalies come the fall aren't necessarily the ones that spend the most hours in the gym, but the ones that have the best plan, a systematic plan that's going to get them from where they are to where they want to be. Today we're going to go over some of the stuff they never tell you about off-season training. Let's head to the lab and break it down. Okay, let's talk about what nobody tells you about how to make this coming season your breakout season. How to do the training that's going to get you noticed by your teammates, coaches, even other parents are going to be asking your parents, what did you do to them? What did you feed them over the off season? Here is truth number one, and that is that you don't need more grind, you need more clarity. So many varsity goalies that I talk to, their solution to not being the goalie they want to be is, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to be the hardest worker. Well, so let's think about this for a minute. Okay, I'm going to be the hardest worker in the gym. How do you define that? How do you know there isn't some maniac kid that's just going nutso in the gym for 17 hours a day? So does that mean you're going to go nutso in the gym for 18 hours of the day and then that's going to magically make you a great goalie? I'm going to be the hardest worker in practice. Okay, are you going to do burpees while the coach is talking, or to make sure that you've worked the hardest? Do you see how that really doesn't make sense? You need to be a hard worker, period. Everybody's working hard, so you need to be a hard worker. But where you're going to differentiate yourself is having a crystal clear picture of what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your opportunities, what are your threats, and then having a plan that makes your strengths even stronger and builds up your weaknesses and looks at all the opportunities you have so you can make the most of those opportunities. And then also looks at the threats. What is going to put you off the tracks? Do you have recurring injuries that come back and bite you season after season? So now you're starting to, maybe you don't have that reputation, but you're starting to worry that you have the reputation that you're not a very durable goalie. Maybe the other goalie is the coach's son. Okay, so how are you going? You're not going to be able to come in and be as good as the coach's son and make the team. You're going to have to be better then. So how are we going to plan to make sure that happens? Grinding without direction, just, getting exercises off the internet, going into the gym, busting your ass, that doesn't get you where you want to be. It leads to, in the worst case, burnout and injury. In the best case, just a plateau where you're putting out tons and tons of effort and you're getting maybe incremental returns, in exchange, which isn't what we're after. In the off season, that's our chance to fill our buckets. So we want to go into the season with those buckets overflowing, not we got a little extra in the bucket this year. Oh, good for us. Clarity isn't about doing more or throwing everything at your work as well. In my workouts, I do cars, I do PRI, I do plyometrics, I do some strength, I do a little hypertrophy, I do some speed, I go to the track. It's about having that focused vision. It's about doing the right things at the right time. So what does clarity look like? Clarity looks like having a proven plan that you just follow. And it's interesting, again, because when I talk to goalies or their parents, they'll say, well, I'm not sure I've figured out exactly how to set up the training program. I think it's really good, but I'm not sure it's perfect. No, it's not perfect. This is a science. This is a thing. You wouldn't be I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I think I figured out how to do surgery on my knee to fix that meniscus. I'll give it a try. I studied this at university. I did an honors undergraduate degree and a master's degree, and I've been doing it for the last 30 years. There is a science and an art and a skill to it. So if you've put together your own plan, I guarantee you that is not a proven plan. Even if you're using really good exercises in it that you've got from the Instagram, I guarantee you that plan does not have proven results over years and decades. Clarity looks like there's no guesswork. So it's not like, what should I do today? Or what should I do next week? It's like, oh, you open the app on your phone or you open your training journal and it's like, oh, this is what I'm doing today. This is my first workout. This is my mobility. Tomorrow I'm doing that. And then you just follow, this is how many sets. This is how many reps. This is the tempo. Tempo is important. If you have a program that just has sets and reps, they're not giving you all the ingredients. They're not giving you all the instructions you need to succeed. So it's just, there's no confusion, there's no overthinking. I just follow the plan. Very simply, it is follow the recipe, put in the work consistently, and yes, you'll have to work hard, and then get dramatic results on the ice. Those results that, yes, your teammates and your coaches will notice. So here's the next thing about your off-season training nobody tells you, and that is that generic training programs are not going to get you noticed. What do I mean by generic training programs? I mean programs that look like they came out of the pages of Men's Health magazine, or Muscle and Fitness magazine that I had a subscription to for many years, and I love it. I'm not knocking Muscle and Fitness, but if you're describing your routine, it starts with, well, I have a chest and triceps day. Then I do back and biceps, then I do shoulders and abs, and then I do legs. And if you have a body part split like that, that is a generic routine, a generic kind of bodybuilder style routine. Or if you're just, every exercise is just like, I do squats, deadlifts, bench press, some kind of pull, chin up, pull up, row, abs, that is a generic program. Not to say that deadlift isn't bad, squats aren't bad, bench isn't bad, chin-ups aren't bad, but you're not getting those exercises that bridge the gap, that bridge the strength and power maybe that you're building in the gym and translate that onto the ice. Most of the goalies you're going up against, they're stretching, they're lifting, they're getting somewhat stronger, they are sprinting, they're doing all those generic things. As a goalie, what you need to translate all that stuff onto the ice is more specific training. So we talk often about goalie-specific training and everyone gets crazy about it, but it's not circus tricks. You are still getting strong, you are still getting fast. But I'll tell you, straight line sprinting on a track is not going to improve your post-to-post speed whatsoever. Doing everything kind of neutral stance, up and down, sagittal plane is not going to help you get into or out of your RVH. So you need to add those special ingredients, I call them bridging exercises, that will make that difference on the ice where it matters. It's great to go back to your team and do testing and be the strongest. You guys have all seen this happen. They're the strongest goalie or player or whatever, but they aren't very good on the ice. Nobody wants that. Trust me, you are not going to get the starter's job because your bench press is better than the other goalies. You want to come in and show that you're fit and ready to go, but your results are going to speak for themselves, and that's what's going to, weigh on the minds of the coaches when they're making those tough decisions. So what we don't want is a program that makes you strong, but not as mobile or athletic as you need to be. We don't want a program that makes you very, very bendy, but you don't have any strength or power. I've talked to goalies who say, well, I only do FRC or I only do like Eldoa for my training. Okay, that's great, but it's not going to give you the explosive speed that you need. You want a system that follows the approach. This is what I do with the Turning Pro goalies. I build you as an athlete first. Can you move? Can you stabilize? Can you produce force and stabilize? Are you explosive? And then we add in those ingredients so that you can use all that athleticism in the crease when you need it. If you're watching this video, you know this truth number 3, and it's that goalie land is a harsh place to live. Inconsistency equals lost opportunities. No coach or team wants a goalie that is high and low and like riding a roller coaster. And the off season is where you earn that consistency, where you build the body you need to do what it needs to do, where you do the right kind of training that's going to help reduce the risk of those recurring injuries that you've had season after season, and really build you into that resilient, consistent, confident goalie that every team wants. Every single inconsistent season is a lost opportunity to get to where you want to be. How do we build that consistency? Well, we apply all the things that we've talked about already, and you'll have to apply it in a very systematic way. So I can't speak to how other strength coaches handle it. I do it using what I call the Turning Pro engine that really has a few components, starting with the Elite Edge analysis. It's kind of what we talked about earlier with that SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. We look at your past training, your performance on the ice, your injury history, your sleep habits, your nutrition. We look at where are the big rocks that we can move and what are the obstacles that we need to look out for. Then we install what's called the Pro Habit Code. And that means starting to build the habits, because it really isn't about actions. Any goalie can get enthusiastic and train, really hard for a week or two. But what we want are those pro habits, the habit of success. And so that we might start with, again, well, what's the low-hanging fruit? Maybe it's your sleep routine. Maybe your sleep routine has been a little bit up and down, and that's going to impact how well you recover. You might not know this, but you don't actually get stronger in the gym lifting weights. You get stronger, away from the gym at night when you're sleeping. So we look at, are you getting the sleep you need so that your body can maximize the benefits of the hard work you're putting in? We'll look at nutrition, and again, maybe set up some very simple daily habits that will help you get the fuel you need to build lean muscle, to fuel your training. So when you're doing your speed training or your stamina training that's just brutally hard, you have the fuel to get through it, and you can really push yourself and maximize your gains. And then all that feeds into the goalie flow system, which means I'm not going to design a program for a goalie that they can't get done. Maybe they have a summer job. Maybe they're going to spend a month at summer camp. So we need to customize and design a program that's going to work best for you, given your busy life. So we make it purposeful, we make it specific, we make it doable, we make it so that you feel dramatic results in the first 2 weeks. And that's what you should feel with any program, whether it's working with me or another strength coach. If you're not feeling quite dramatic results in the first 2 weeks and you've been following the plan and putting in the work, then it's time to have a discussion with your trainer. I never oversell anything, but yeah, you should feel dramatic results in the first 2 weeks. But if you really just want the proven plan and you want to print it out and just follow the plan every single day and know exactly what to do and not have to second guess yourself, then we should have a conversation about working together in the Turning Pro Accelerator, which is a new version of the Turning Pro coaching program that cuts the cost in more than half, makes it a little more accessible for you, and is exactly what you need for the off season. If that's you want to explore that, check out, there's a link in the description, or probably the best thing is just to either leave a comment below or DM me on Instagram. I am at Goalie Training, and just say, hey Marie, I'd like to have a conversation about the Turning Pro Accelerator, because that is the next step. I talk to everybody who gets into that program because I'm going to be working with you, and we just make sure it's the right fit. And sometimes it's a great fit and everything goes great, and sometimes for whatever reason it just isn't the right fit, so then we save each other a lot of time and bother. So that's how that works. And finally, drop a comment below with your biggest off-season training challenge or the biggest thing you want to improve this off-season, and either I'll point you in the right direction, or it might be a great topic for a video that I want to share with everybody. So have your say down below. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that jazz. I love you guys. I will catch you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.